Now at 5 and only on RTV6, new details in the shooting of Dre John Reed. Our Call 6 Investigates team with the new information and the pushback from Reed's legal team.
The last thing I want is for somebody who's already down on their luck to be even further down on their luck because of $60 or $30.
A class action lawsuit accusing a towing company of illegal storage fees. Tonight, what you need to know if you get towed.
And 1,000 jobs. FedEx needs to staff a new facility at the Indianapolis airport. Could this be the job for you?
This is RTV6 News at 5, working for you.
Now at 5, the shooting death of Dre John Reed created tension between the police and public. Tonight, Call 6 Investigates breaks new information on the case. Tonight we have more exclusive details involving that fatal encounter.
And there are continued calls for justice in light of the May 6th death. Call 6 Chief Investigator Rafael Sanchez joins us now with exclusive information that he's uncovered. Rafael, what can you tell us?
Amanda and Mark, good evening. We're getting more insight into this controversial case. Many saw Dre John Reed's death unfold on Facebook Live, leading to 48 days with many pressing questions.
The police chase involving Dre John Reed led to a foot chase on May the 6th. As Officer Dre Mercer ran after him, Dre John's Facebook live stream did not stop. The police use of a taser to stop the 21-year-old did not work. Metro Police say that Reed shot a weapon twice. Call 6 has learned that Officer Mercer fired his gun more than 10 times. Metro Police report a gun was found by Reed's body. 2 casings from that weapon were recovered. Call 6 Investigates has learned that the gun in question matches the description of the weapon seen in Dre John's front waistband during the Facebook live stream. Dre John's legal team claims this surveillance video RTV6 showed last week is evidence that Dre John was not holding a gun in his hands as he ran. Instead, Reed's lawyers say he was holding a T-shirt and 2 cell phones. Based on that, they contend that Dre John did not fire at Officer Mercer. The casings from the weapon found near Reed's body were inputted into a national law enforcement database system known as NIBIN. It stands for National Integrated Ballistics Information Network. It's run by the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, better known as the ATF. Information from the casings that are processed are shared with local and state law enforcement to help connect the sources of gun-related violence and crimes. Call 6 Investigates has learned that Metro Police was alerted and that the casings from the weapon in Reed's possession match casings found somewhere else where damage from bullets were found and reported.
And we don't know when or where those casings were found that are connected to the weapon recovered by Reed's body. As for the officer firing more than 10 rounds, it will be up to the investigation to determine, Amanda, if that was justified. So several of the questions that remain unanswered tonight.
And Rafael, I know you have been asking a lot of these questions, and there's a lot of moving parts with this, and I know you've been having a lot of conversations. So I want to know, what have you been hearing from police, the lawyers for Reed's family, the lawyer for Officer Mercer, and the special prosecutor? A lot of people involved in this.
So, Amanda, everyone involved in the story was informed about what we were going to report Monday at 11 o'clock. So, I had plenty of time to respond. IMPD and the lawyer for Officer Mercer declined to comment, but we did receive a statement from the special prosecutor that it's reviewing this case. The special prosecutor telling this to Call 6 Investigates and RTV6. The ethical rules do not permit me to comment on the details of a pending investigation. Now, the legal team for the estate of Dre John Reed says, in part, we fully expected that during our campaign for truth to be told that we would be hit with alternative facts. Alternative facts make this report highly suspicious, given they directly contradict testimony from multiple eyewitnesses. They also go on to say that they've never been given access to the evidence and that, in their words, the fix was in from day one. The full statement from Reed's legal team and our stories are currently right now on the IndyChannel.com. And Amanda will have much more on this story coming up tonight on the news at 6 o'clock.
Okay, thank you, Rafael.
A local towing company is facing a class action lawsuit tonight for allegedly charging drivers excessive and illegal storage fees. Only on RTV6. Call 6 Investigates' Kara Kenny has been digging through that complaint and joins us now with what you can look for.
No one likes to be towed, but Indianapolis ordinance dictates exactly how much it should cost you. But not every company is following it, according to a new lawsuit.
Max Ketchum lives at Sebring Court Apartments, where his vehicle was towed the night of June 10th. Max went to Zors to pick up his vehicle, so he expected to pay the $150 for the tow, but was shocked when he says Zors initially tried to charge him $60 in storage fees. Indianapolis ordinance states towing companies cannot charge you a $30 storage fee until your vehicle has been impounded for at least 24 hours. When he pushed back, they gave him credit for 1 day, but still charged him $30 in storage. Max's vehicle was impounded at 7:14 p.m. on June 10th, according to his receipt. It was released the next day at 9:53 a.m. That's 14 and a half hours. But the invoice says his car was held in impound for 2 days. Max has filed a class action lawsuit accusing Zors of charging excessive fees and violating the Indiana Deceptive Consumer Sales Act.
If they've done it to me, they've done it to other people. And we don't want other people being overcharged. We don't want other people being hurt because there's a lot of people who wouldn't be able to be in a position to afford an extra $30 or $60.
The ordinances could not be more clear about when a storage fee of $30 can be charged. And it can only be charged when the vehicle has been at the tow lot for at least 24 hours. And that is simply not how Zors is charging the fee. And they should know better.
You can report a towing complaint to the city of Indianapolis at tows@indy.gov. Reporting in Indianapolis, Kara Kenny, RTV6.
We've reached out to Zors and just heard back from them in the last hour. They tell us their attorneys are investigating the claims raised in the lawsuit. We also reached out to the city of Indianapolis, and they did investigate Max's complaint and found he was improperly charged. They also found Zors' license was expired when they towed Max's car. The city has asked Zors to refund the customer the entire $180 he was charged for the tow and storage. They're working with Zors to renew their license. Tonight, Metro Police are asking for your help in identifying a man they're calling a person of interest in an assault on the Monon Trail. This is the man they want to talk to regarding a hit and run on June 20th near 75th and Westfield Boulevard. Police say the victim in this case was violently knocked off his bike and sustained significant injuries. The man police want to talk to is known to travel the Monon regularly. If you have any information, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers. That number is 317-262-TIPS.
RTV6 is working for you and getting results. Residents in one Greenwood neighborhood are getting their speeding concerns addressed after yet another report from RTV6 just yesterday. At 5, we told you about residents in the Briarstone subdivision who told us speeding was still a problem 1 year after we first reported on this issue. And before the pandemic, the mayor was working with the neighborhood to address the issue. Today, we heard from a spokesperson for Mayor Mark Myers, who said that the mayor has instructed the police department to install a speed monitor and assign additional officers to the area. And if you have a problem in your neighborhood and need help getting results, reach out to us by sending us an email at workingforyou@rtv6.com.
Hiring Hoosiers is our commitment to keep you informed of job opportunities of all kinds, and this is a big one we're about to tell you about. FedEx Express is in the process of opening a new building at Indianapolis International Airport, and they need 1,000 people to staff that new facility. These are all part-time positions. They're looking for package handlers to unload packages after they're removed from the planes, and material handlers who are also trained to operate tug trucks and other equipment that moves the packages. There are 3 to 4 hour day and overnight shifts available. Starting pay is $16.12 an hour. To apply, just look for this story at hiringhoosiers.com. Coming up, all new on the news at 5:30. Yes, they can be annoying, but a plan to kill geese is not sitting well with some people in a Carmel neighborhood. And some neighbors feel their concerns are not being heard.
But first, a COVID-19 success story here in Indiana, plus new information about the timeline on developing a vaccine from the nation's top infectious disease specialist.
And we'll talk about dust in the wind. There's a large area of dust crossing the Atlantic. Why that's happening. We'll look at our chance for rain over the next several days in the weekend forecast.
Visit Regions.com/refi.
A milestone worth celebrating at Methodist Hospital. 55-year-old James Weedman wheeled out of the hospital elevator Monday to cheers and applause. He's the hospital's 500th COVID-19 patient to be discharged. He first tested positive on May 22nd near his hometown of Paoli and self-quarantined. But on June 15th, his condition worsened and he was flown to Methodist, where after just 1 week, he had the green light to return home, and we're glad to see it. Overall, the state is seeing a decline in patients hospitalized for COVID-19. This graph from the Department of Health's coronavirus website that we're showing you today shows a pretty overall steady pattern of the numbers dropping. There are some spikes, but when you look at early April compared to now, the number is down quite a bit. We also learned today that 14 more Hoosiers have died from COVID-19. That's about the same as reported yesterday. These deaths occurred between last Wednesday and yesterday. The statewide total now stands at 2,377. 331 more Hoosiers have tested positive for the virus. That number has stayed relatively flat the past 6 days, except for a spike on Thursday. The statewide total of positive cases is closing in on 43,000.
And the government's top infectious disease expert says he is cautiously optimistic that there will be a COVID-19 vaccine by the end of the year or early 2021. But Dr. Anthony Fauci also told lawmakers on Capitol Hill today that the next few weeks will be critical to tapping down on the coronavirus hotspots around the country. ABC's Andrew Dimebert reports.
The COVID-19 pandemic is biting back. More than half the states of the U.S. now seeing a rise in coronavirus infections. An analysis by ABC News found increases in hospitalizations in 21 states and increases in daily deaths in at least 8 states. Federal health officials in charge of leading the nation's response to the pandemic testifying on Capitol Hill today, warning we aren't entering a second wave because we never got out of the first.
We are still in the middle of the first wave. So before you start talking about what a second wave is, what we'd like to do is to get this outbreak under control.
Arizona quickly becoming a new hotspot with cases and hospitalizations on the rise. And while the virus doesn't seem to be slowing, neither does President Trump's re-election efforts. Trump moving ahead with an indoor rally at a mega church in Phoenix, where health experts and local officials fear that safety protocols like mask wearing and social distancing might not be followed.
We're going to be making a speech to young people in Arizona.
With the disease still spreading nationwide, some state leaders and the president himself suggesting the rise in cases is due to more testing.
By having more tests, we find more cases.
But doctors say that sort of reasoning isn't rooted in logic.
That is absolutely not the explanation. There are just many more cases happening because the infection rates are rising.
Meanwhile, the healthcare system in some states is being pushed to new limits. In Texas, ICU and acute care beds at Texas Children's Hospital are now being used by adults. Austin's mayor was non-committal on a possible second shutdown there, placing blame on the federal government for sending conflicting messages on masks.
Certainly from the national leaders that seem to suggest that it's not important. And here at the state, the governor continues to say it's important, but for the longest time, we were unable to enforce it.
There are also growing incidents with airline passengers refusing to wear masks. This one on a Frontier flight from LA to Denver.
The airline staff had no other option, it seemed like, and they ended up calling on to have the LAPD come on.
Dr. Anthony Fauci, meanwhile, says he still fully expects a vaccination to be in the pipeline, saying it's a matter of when, not if, one will be developed. Andrew Dimber, ABC News, Washington.
Now to your Storm Team 6 forecast, and it sure feels pretty comfortable out there right now, Kevin, but we definitely saw the wind picking up a little bit.
We had some gusts over 30 miles per hour, but here's the good news, Amanda. It's bringing in drier air, cooler temperatures, moving the flags around a little bit this afternoon. Absolutely. Yeah. And I think a big part of that is the humidity dropping, so that makes a big difference, and we'll enjoy this little break from the heat and humidity for a couple of days. Wind will calm down just a little bit tonight, but still gust anywhere from 10 to 20 miles per hour. Maybe you've read about this, the dust from the Saharan desert crossing the Atlantic. That's not unusual for that to happen. This is a denser area of dust, though. Let's talk about this for a second. The steering currents, what we call the trade winds, come predominantly from east to west when you're north of the equator. So that brings the dust off the African continent and across the Atlantic all the way to the Gulf Coast, and their indications are it will start to turn and come back north a little bit, and so we may be on the northern fringe of that, and it will bring a haze to the sky and maybe a little more color to any sunrise and sunsets over the weekend. Keep our eye on that. Interesting. As you see, we've got clouds in the sky right now. They could lead to a shower this evening in isolated spots. Using the radar just to double check. Nothing out there now. The chance is very small that we'll see those. Temperatures are in the 70s across the state. A whole different feel. One exception would be Bedford. I want to show you one sharp-dressed man. Now, Amanda Starantino, I don't always have her undivided attention during the weather, but I do now because that is her dog.
I see it. It makes me so happy.
He's our most... I think I need to take him out to dinner and not for a walk.
He's quite the dapper little gentleman.
All right, Leo, he was dressed up over the weekend, 68 the temperature by 11 o'clock tonight. Tomorrow, the chance for a shower or thunderstorm, just 30%. Temperatures will fall shy of 80 degrees. In the morning, lots of sunshine. Then it kind of self-destructs. We'll pick up clouds in the afternoon, and that isolated shower or thunderstorm, especially over the northern half of central Indiana. There are your temperatures during the day tomorrow, again, staying just shy of 80 degrees. Enjoy that break because it will get steamy again, and we start to make our move at least climbing above 80 degrees as we get to Thursday. Friday, the humidity is back up. Temperatures back up as well into the upper 80s. The chance for thunderstorms is there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, with low temperatures generally through that stretch around 70 degrees. When you have overnight lows that don't cool off and that high humidity, it gets a bit uncomfortable, but more rain potential down the road. Back to you.
Thanks, Kevin. And it's easy to lose track of time right now, but back to school is not too far away. The effort kicking off to make sure kids have the supplies they need.
It's unclear how the new school year will look given the effects of the pandemic. Indy Backpack Attack typically starts gathering school supplies now to be able to provide them to kids at the start of the school year. But with COVID-19, they are changing the way they help the community. RTV6's Alyssa Donovan explains the new plan and how you can help.
Every year, Indy Backpack Attack asks for donations of backpacks, notebooks, colored pencils, you name it. But this year, they're doing things a little bit differently. Typically, Indy Backpack Attack would be passing out boxes to collect school supplies donations right now. But instead, they're asking for monetary donations only this year. This will eliminate the issues of supplies trading hands over and over again in the donation process, allowing the organization to buy supplies in bulk and send it straight to schools that need them. They'll also be cutting back the amount of volunteers. That way there won't be as many people working in the warehouse sorting supplies.
We had to make those adaptations to make sure that we can protect the volunteers, we can protect the students, and we can protect the faculty at the school as well.
The goal is to raise $300,000 by July 24th, so they have plenty of time to place orders and ship supplies to schools. The virtual kickoff event for the 2020 school supply drive is this Wednesday at 8 a.m. For details on how to participate or donate, you can visit theindychannel.com. I'm Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
The COVID-19 pandemic does not just affect physical health, it impacts your mental health as well. Tonight at 6, we speak to an expert to find out what you can do to ease your anxiety. And next at 5:30, breaking in and stealing everything in sight. Surveillance video captured the crimes. Now police need your help figuring out who is involved.